All right, Math 1. Today is Tuesday, the 16th. We have already completed the warm-up. You should have already completed the warm-up, and you should have already written your homework down in your planner. If you have your homework written in your planner and you need me to stamp it, please bring it at this time. Is there anyone? Okay, I'm moving on. All right. The next thing that we are going to do is that I'm going to model again solving equations. I'm going to model again solving equations, okay? This side's going to be just a little bit harder. Yes.
Can I switch seats with someone like over there? Because I can't see.
Okay, you can sit at 16.
Why did you say 16?
Oh, just mark it out. I'm sorry. Your teacher's crazy. It's okay.
16 twice.
Yeah, I know. I was rushing when I did this. Okay, so no, let me get through this part and then I'll get your question. After which we're going to do guided and independent practice. And we have a group assignment that we're doing, and it's a puzzle, okay, that we're going to put together. All right, let's look at the warm up. Shh. Guys, I'm going to separate y'all. Stop. Okay. All right, let's look at the warm up. Y'all have a question? Tell me. So you want me to work on something? Okay. All right, so the warm up. Okay. I can do two. I can do two. Please raise your hand. Which one, Jerry? Four. Somebody said, and three. Okay, those are the two. Shh. Let me do.
I thought we would take it in the end, so I did write it, but I never got a check.
What's the other one?
See, yeah.
All right, so number three. Let's look at it first. The very first thing that we're doing here, I still hear like a little bit of talking. Let's make sure that if we have a question, all you gotta do is just raise your hand. Is there a question? Okay, then if there's no questions, we need to be quiet. So make sure that we understand this and that we have it right. Yes, sir. You want me to zoom in a little bit? Is that better, sweetheart? Yeah. All right. Okay. Go ahead. All right, here we go. So first thing, remember, is distributive property. So we're going to do distributive property first. So here we have distributive property on this side of the equal sign. This is a positive 3. Take the sign in front of it and multiply times all terms in the parentheses. I'm going to bring down the 17. Okay, and I have positive 3 times 10, which is positive what? 30. I have positive 10 times a negative 9x. That gives me a negative what? 27x. And I'm bringing everything else down. Raise your hand if you're good with this so far. All right, that's good. Rosalind, okay, good. All right, so now we're going to combine terms that are alike. So which terms are alike here? Let's raise our hand. Emma? Negative 27x and negative 4. What does that give me when I combine them together? Negative 31x. Okay, so we've got those 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Use fingers and toes. All right, what else can we combine together, Jackson?
17 and 30.
17 and 30. What does that give us?
47.
That gives us 47. Okay, so we got 47 here. It's equal to 171. Okay. Now we're isolating the variable. We don't have variables on both sides, so we can skip that step. So what is the next thing that we're going to do to isolate the variable, Renee?
Minus 47.
Very good, baby. We're going to minus 47 on both sides. So when we minus or subtract 47 on this side, we're left with the negative 31x. Okay. What's 171 minus 47? Say again. 124. Okay. So now what are we going to do to isolate the variable, Dennis?
We're gonna divide 124 and 31 by 31.
Very good. Positive or negative?
Positive.
Negative.
Oh.
We got to get rid of the negative, okay? So we got negative 31 divided by negative 31. That's 1x. Bring down the equal. And now we have 124 divided by 31. What does that equal? That's what? Negative 4. Good job. Okay? Raise your hand if you got that right. Okay, good. I'm proud of you. Good job. All right, so now we're doing number 4. I've seen some people to line up to line up the equal sign. They've been putting lines through it. A line through an equal sign means not equal. So when you're lining it up, notice how I'm using arrows or something. Just don't do this. Don't put a line through an equal sign. A line through an equal sign means not equal. So be careful not to do that. Yes, baby.
When you're like trying to find like answer to a variable and it comes back to like a negative, you divide that negative by like it's a negative. If it's negative x equals something, would you divide the negative x by 2 or negative x?
Negative 1. Because you don't want to get rid of the x, you just want to get rid of the negative 1 attached to the x. So you're going to divide both sides by negative 1. Okay, that's a good question. All right, so let's do the next one. We have distributive property 2 times here. So we're going to multiply. We're going to perform distributive property twice within the same step. Negative 3 times both terms in the parentheses, and we have a negative times both numbers in the parentheses, okay? So let's do it. We have a negative 3 times a positive 4y. What does that give us? Negative 12y. We have a negative 3 times a positive 7. What does that give us? Negative 21. Good job. We have a negative 1 essentially times a positive 5. What does that give us? Negative 5. We have a negative 1 essentially times a negative 3y. What does that give us?
Positive 3y.
Positive 3y. Bring down the equal and bring down the negative 8. Any questions about what we did to distribute there? Okay. Now we're going to combine terms that are alike. So let's combine like terms. Which terms here are alike?
Negative 12y and 3y.
Negative 12y and 3y. What does that give us? Negative what?
Negative 9y.
Okay, good job. I'm going to mark those out. What else can I combine?
Negative 21 and positive.
Okay, so what does this give me here?
Negative.
And right, what is it?
26.
Negative 26. Bring down the equal, bring down the negative 8. Okay, now what are we going to do to isolate the variable y? Add 26 on both sides. So we're going to add 26 to both sides of that equal sign. So this is gone, and I'm left, this is 0, and I'm left with the negative 9y. Bring down the equal. What's negative 8 plus 26? 18. Very good. Now what am I going to do to isolate the variable? Divide. What are we going to divide by? So we got negative 9 on both sides. So when we divide both sides by negative 9, this gives us y is equal to what?
Negative 2.
Excellent job. Anybody get that right on their own? That's perfect. Okay. All right, let's put our packet in our folder, please. Don't forget to watch the homework help video tonight. Okay. All right, so now we opening up our notebook, please. We need to do a couple more examples. Yes, baby. This is page 11. Continue. Yes. I didn't have time to do it today since I passed back papers. I'll get it tomorrow. This is page 11. Continue. We're doing more practice. More practice, okay? Doing just a couple problems. All right, from yesterday's problems, I do want to give you the answers real quick, just so that you can check your work. And if there is one that you didn't get correct, then I can do that problem. So please take out the sheet from yesterday that we worked on, equations. I'm gonna pause for the calls, and then I'm gonna give you those answers. Let me not give you the answers if you're not finished, okay? And let me do two examples that are a little bit more complex, and then I'm gonna give you time to finish, and then we're gonna go to our activity. All right, we ready? Okay, so this is more practice. Which one did I leave off on? 7. So number 8. Let's do one that looks like this. We have 8 in parentheses 1 plus 5x. Yes, baby? You can't see? All right. Thank you. Okay. So now let's do this particular equation together. First thing, what is the first step? What are we going to do first? Distributive property. We're going to multiply 8 times both terms in the parentheses. So this is going to give me 8 times 1 is what? 8. 8 times a positive 5x is what?
40x.
Positive 40x. Good job. Bring down the plus 5. Bring down the equal. No distributive property here. Questions about distributive property being first. Combine like terms on each side of the equal sign separately. Let's look over here first. Are there any terms that I can combine here? Yes. What are they?
8 and 5.
8 and 5. What's 8 plus 5?
13.
Bring down the plus 40x. Any questions about combining like terms there? Bring down the equal. Can you combine the two terms on the other side?
No.
No, you cannot. Okay, so we're just going to bring those down. The next step is to move the variables to the same side. Okay, doesn't matter which one you move. I'm always going to choose to move the smaller one. The smaller one between the two variables is the 5x. This is a positive 5x. What's the inverse of adding?
Subtraction.
So I'm going to subtract 5x to move it to the other side so that all my variables are on the same side. Any questions so far? When I subtract 5 on this side, 5x, I get 13 plus what? 35x. Good job, baby. Bring down the equal. On this side of the equation, what am I left with over here? 13. Okay. So now, what am I going to do to isolate the variable? I'm going to subtract 13. Move 13 over here to isolate this variable x. I'm moving this 13. On this side of the equal sign, what do I have? What's left? 35x. Bring down the equal. On this side, what do I have here? 0. Now I'm going to divide both sides by what?
35.
35. When I divide both sides by 35, x is equal to what number? 0 is my answer. Any questions about that?
No.
All right. Okay. Divide the bottom in half. I'm going to do 2 more because it's super important for me to do problems that look like this. So let's suppose that we have, anyone still writing this problem here? Okay. So let's do 9. Let's do 2. We in the parentheses. And let's do. Okay. All right. So first thing, what are we going to do first to solve this equation? So we're going to distribute. We're going to multiply the 2 times both numbers in the parentheses. So that's going to give me 2x what? Excellent job. Write down the equal. What do we notice about this problem so far? It's the exact same thing. When we get to a place where it's the exact same thing, we already know that this is going to be infinitely many solutions because every number that you plug in for x is going to make both sides equal. Okay? Every number. If I plug in 2 for x, both sides are going to be equal. If I plug in 7 for x, both sides are going to be equal. So you don't even have to work it out no further than this. You already know this is going to be infinitely many solutions if they're both the same. But to prove so, we're going to solve it to see what it looks like in the end, okay? You ready? So now we're going to move the variables to the same side. Guess what? Doesn't matter because they're both the same, correct? Yes. So we're going to subtract 2x on both sides. And look at what happens. They cancel out, do they not? And what are you left with? 6 on both sides, correct? This is a true statement. When your variables cancel out and both sides are equal, that's how you know this is infinitely many solutions. Every single number is going to work for this problem. Any questions about that?
Nope.
Yes, baby.
You go into the questions on the sheet. You go into the questions on the sheet.
Are we going in our notebook?
No, I can't do one of these.
Oh, yeah, but I want people to try it first. Some people aren't finished. All right, number 10. Let's do one like this, and then I want you to finish your practice sheet. Let's do 3 plus 7x is equal to 9 plus 7x. All right. We don't have distributive property, correct? Okay, can't combine anything here or here. So let's move the variables to the same side. Does it matter which one we move? No, because they're both exactly the same. So what I noticed is that they're not the other numbers are not the same, but these are. I automatically know when the variables cancel out, both sides are not going to be equal. So that's a no solution. So let's do it. We're going to subtract 7x on both sides. This is gone, and this is also gone. Is 3 equal to 9? No. That's when you draw a line through it. This is false. Okay? Because it's false and the variables are gone, that means that this had no solution. Any questions about that? Is there anyone that is lost? All right, at this time, I need you to complete the sheet from yesterday. I need you to do that part of it first. Okay? I need you to complete that from yesterday. Raise your hand if you're finished so I'll know who I'm looking at. Okay, so the others of you that, dang, you can't start that. Well, I'm going to do an alternative assignment. There's a coloring assignment that I'm going to do with the ones of you that are finished. Okay? Until everybody gets finished, and then we'll do the group activity. Does that make sense? Yes.
Can we continue working as a part of the word yesterday?
No, let me tell you something about that. If it goes south like it did yesterday, y'all won't work together for a long time. All right. Shh.